official tree store for well over 50 years. At any given time, Bob has more quality trees, dozens of varieties, including shade trees, palm trees, and citrus trees than anyone in Marion County. You always get lowest prices and guarantee, plus every day you buy one tree, you get a second one for half price. That means you can buy a 4 to 6 foot tree for as little as $49.99 and get another one just like it for only $25. Hundreds of types and sizes are available. You can get delivered, planted, and guaranteed. So think about trees. Think about Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, away from all the traffic. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, Ocala's Tree Place since 1952.
Hey, Sonny, we're in a break, and I got an interview coming up next.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club.
Call back at about
country club-style golf at municipal prices. Right. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 9:30 to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie thank you for another successful year and to wish you and yours a year ahead full of health, faith, and compassion. In addition to our pasture mowing, we also offer fence line spraying for weed control and rototilling for your winter gardens. We are family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Merry Christmas from the Pack Mail Store. Thank you for all of your business in 2020. At Pack Mail, we pack, ship, freight, and crate, a family-owned business since 2007.
My TD Life. Yes, My TD Life. Hi, Trevor DeShaw here, and I will be on WOCA coming Monday, December 21st at 9:05 a.m. to give you ways to take advantage of market gains while avoiding any and all losses to your primary money. Listen in to this Money Monday My TD Life segment at 9:05 right here on WOCA, and check out my website, www.mytdlife.com.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz on a Tuesday morning. Let's go right out to the phone lines and talk to Dr. Lynn Friedland. He's a practicing physician and vaccine researcher and vice president and director at Scientific Affairs and Public Health for GlaxoSmithKline. He's also joined by, I believe, Jamie is with the doctor. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, Tom.
Let's talk for a minute about, we talk about with vaccinations being in the forefront of the news today with the COVID-19 vaccine coming out and everything. We forget, people think that vaccines are just for, small children when they go to school. But people forget college-age kids have to have some vaccinations done as well, because there's a lot of things that you can be exposed to at the college level. Why is it vaccinations, if you get them as a young child, Is it boosters? Is it new? Is it a new line of vaccines? What is it that the college kid has to do vaccine-wise to get ready to go to the masses?
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Tom. Now, we're talking today about meningococcal disease, otherwise known as meningitis, and you'll meet one of my personal heroes, Jamie, in just a minute. We'll tell you about her personal experience with this disease. But this disease, meningococcal disease, we call it sometimes meningitis. It's an uncommon bacterial infection, but at times it can be extremely serious, causing lifelong consequences and even death. 1 in 10 teenagers and young adults who come down with this disease will die, sometimes within 24 hours of first feeling sick. And 1 in 5 will have lifelong consequences, which you'll hear about from Jamie in just a minute. And the reason this is of concern for teenagers and young adults has to do with common behaviors. The bacteria that causes this meningitis lives in our nose and in the back of our throat, and therefore it's spread from person to person, from secretions, from saliva, from kissing, from sharing things like cups, from living in close quarters like in college dormitories. And when this disease comes on, it can be very serious and it's completely unpredictable. And that's why the Centers for Disease Control recommends vaccination for our teenagers and young adults.
Jamie, I know you're there with us. You were in college. You were healthy. You were in good shape, and then a 24-hour period happened. Tell us a little bit about your story and how your life changed in a 24-hour period.
Yes, thank you, Tom. So back in 2008, I was 20 years old and really excited about the future. I was a college student, very excited about my dream university that I worked really hard to get to. And I couldn't even enjoy a full semester without contracting this disease. So I was completely fine one day, but was supposed to be studying, and then I just wasn't feeling well. I was just tired and lethargic maybe. And then the next morning I woke up to not feeling great. I was incapable of walking, retaining any warmth. I was vomiting, and I didn't know what was wrong. And my sister called to offer me a ride to school, and I said, I think I need to go to the hospital. And so we went to the hospital. They rushed me in, and the doctor looked at my sister and said, your mom needs to be here. And at that moment, we knew it was really serious. Luckily, there was a nurse there that guessed I had meningitis. And so I was put on dialysis that day, and the next day I was put on the ventilator, and then a semi-medicated coma because, I was watching my limbs go from red rash to purple to black to literally rotting. My extremities were a sacrifice to this disease. And it wasn't like I was walking around playing on my phone. I was like a statue in bed. I couldn't even lift my arms over my head for 3 months. But I was in the hospital for a total of 7 months, and within that stay, the doctors did decide to amputate both of my legs below the knee and all of my fingers as a way to save my life. And I know it's a very tough decision, and it might sound crazy to say this, but I'm very grateful for that decision, and I'm grateful to be here today to talk about that.
Dr. Friedland, Jamie, by the way, so sorry for what you went through with this disease. But Dr. Friedland, shouldn't if she had got a vaccination, wasn't there a vaccination available, or doesn't the college require for vaccinations against these kind of diseases?
Tom, those are great questions to ask about, and I want to thank Jamie for sharing her story. She's just so brave to share her story and to educate so that we all learn about this, so a bit more about this particular disease. So this bacteria comes in 5 different types. We call them groups that cause the majority of the disease. And there are 2 different types of vaccines that can help protect against all 5 of the groups that cause this type of meningitis. Now, parents, one of the vaccines that protects against 4 of those 5 groups, that vaccine's been available since the early 2000s, and so your teenager most likely received that vaccine when they were younger. But the other type, for type B as in boy, and this is the type that's causing all of the outbreaks on college campuses, this vaccine's been available and used since about 2015. And when we look at data across the United States, Tom, only 1 in 5 of our teenagers and young adults have received the meningitis B vaccine. So it's really important. So Jamie didn't know about this. she hadn't been vaccinated, and that's a fairly typical story. But the good news is that we have safe and effective vaccines, and we want to raise awareness. You know, Tom, you mentioned earlier about the pandemic. We're all familiar now with the importance of vaccination to protect ourselves. And so this is a great time, parents, to get our children completely up to date on all of the vaccine-preventable diseases for which there are vaccines recommended for our teenagers. It's winter break. This is time, a great time, to make an appointment with the doctor, speak to your doctor, speak to your nurse, make sure that your teen or young adult, your college-age children are up to date on everything that's recommended, and ask specifically, has my child received both of the vaccines that are recommended to protect against meningitis? I heard this young woman tell her story. I want to make sure that my children are receiving everything they possibly can, including this meningitis B vaccine.
We're talking with Dr. Lynn Friedland from GlaxoSmithKline. He's representing GlaxoSmithKline. Doctor, are there some side effects though that we need to know about? Are they mild? What are some of the reasons people would shy away, and we need to let them know that's not a reason to shy away?
Right. So with every vaccine, we can expect to have things like some pain and redness. With these vaccines, we may have some fever. When you speak to the doctor, they'll give you an information sheet that explains what you can expect. The meningitis B vaccines are 2-dose vaccines, so you come and get your first dose and then you get your second dose. With one of the vaccines, you can get your second dose 30 days later and completely then be finished with the vaccine series. The important thing is to recognize how serious this disease can be. The only way that we can protect ourselves is through vaccination. And that's why it's so important that we receive these vaccines. By the way, we have a website, Tom, where everybody can learn more about what is meningitis and what are the 2 different vaccines that are available and recommended to help protect our teenagers against meningitis. And that website is the following, meningitisb.com, and I'll spell that, MENINGITIS, B as in boy, .com, meningitisb.com.
What do you say to the parents or to students that are listening and goes, yeah, but right now because of COVID-19, I'm not on campus, I'm at home because I'm doing distance learning, so I'm not really at risk?
What I'd say is that in the future, you're going to be back on that campus. You're going to be back in the clubs. You're going to be back in the concerts. It's amazing what's going to happen in the next few months as we start to get back to normal. I have 2 children who are now in their 20s. I made sure when they were teenagers that they were vaccinated because I wanted to make sure that they were protected, because you never know what's coming. This is unpredictable, but also you just don't know. And Jamie's a perfect example of somebody who was living her life, and she came down with this illness. And the good news is we have vaccines to help protect. meningitisb as in boy.com.
Dr. Friedland and Jamie, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us about a very important situation, meningitis.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
We'll be right back after this short timeout. Coming up at 9:05, it's In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's standing outside because the door's locked and I'm not letting her in, so she's outside. But she'll be here at 9:05 with In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. We'll be back after this short timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
2 Men in a Truck.
I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Christmas in 2020 sure looks different than it has in years past.
I'm Crystal, and it's fair to say this year has been like no other for the healthcare and the whole community.
We want to thank our frontline staff who continue to care for our residents every day.
And thanks to the family members who have been unable to